Family and friends, welcome back to the channel. We're going to rehash some things today. First, I hope everyone had a good New Year's. Hope everyone was safe. April 9 didn't even make it to midnight. We just passed out, went to sleep. But I hope everyone had a good time. Hope everyone's safe. We're going to rehash some banking information. I did a video much earlier, I think my second video on banking. We're going to retouch on some of that. This is what I have done, what April and I have set up. I'm not saying it's the perfect thing to do. It's just what we did. So learn from us. If we make a mistake, we're going to tell you about it. What we did is we separated our funds between two banks. We used to have one bank. It was Pinnacle Bank, which I loved. Fantastic, but they were just a regional bank and they didn't really have any international reach outs. They really weren't that big. Sometimes you want a medium-sized bank, but I kept studying it, and two banks that I decided to go with. One was Bank of America because they have a large international footprint. Also, you can reach out to them 24/7. The other one, it's a brokerage firm. It's a great firm. It's Charles Schwab. There are so many things I like about Schwab. Really low rates. And also, if you use your ATM card anywhere of the world, they reimburse you for the ATM cost. In other words, every time you take money out of an ATM, they'll say, hey, it's going to cost you $3.50, typically. But when you go overseas, you're going to pay an exorbitant fee for international usage and the American fee. And those things can add up. So what Schwab does, you're still charged. But by the end of each month, you are reimbursed for any of the charges by any ATMs worldwide, which is fantastic. The reason that we picked two banks instead of one, let's say you're overseas, you make a withdrawal, and there's a new guy at your bank, and he sees Albania or Italy, and then he blocks the account because he's thinking there's fraud, and he thinks he's doing you a favor. Now the trouble is, I can't walk into a Bank of America when I'm in Eastern Europe. So you get two bank accounts that have multiple ways to get your money. So if you're having trouble with one, while I'm fixing it, I could still have a different account to withdraw money from. I also joined Wise, which used to be TravelWise. They gave me a card as well, which I'm going to load up. And I'm going to do money transfers. Also, when we get to Albania, Albania is a country that you can open a bank account there and not be a citizen. A lot of countries you can't. Some you can. Albania is one of them, which I really like. So we will have a third account, and I will transfer money to that account. The reason being, why do I want to do that? ATM cards. Yes, I have American ATM cards. But when your ATM card goes bad, sometimes the swiper gets too old. It's going to take you a while to get that new card from overseas back over. So I want a local bank. And the people I've talked to in Albania tell me go to Union Bank. I'm sure there's many banks, but that's probably the one I'm going to pick. This way, if I can get an ATM card, the ATM card goes bad, I can walk into a bank and get it, order up another one. So I wanted to touch with you guys on that. The other thing I did, because I'm really paranoid, and I just got off the phone with both Bank of America and Charles Schwab. And when I asked them, I started off with Schwab, I go, look, only because I'm over paranoid. We're going to be traveling, I'm taking a cruise first, we're going to stop at Rome, then we're going to go to Albania, and let's just say a fraud alert's put on my account. What do I do? Spell it out for me. And they go, well, you call the international number that's on the back of your card, which also I'm going to write down. I said, yeah, but what are they going to ask me for? She goes, well, at first, you can't tell them where you're going. Okay? So I'll call them up, hey, we're going to be in Europe for a while. You can stay up to a year, and then you could extend that year again and so forth. And also, they said you can use a password for all your accounts. I have my rollover IRAs in there, as well as my checking. And so for all accounts, I could use a password, and that unfreezes the account. The only thing is that if you forget this password, you're going to have to come into a Charles Schwab's office, so make sure it's a password you're not going to forget. So April and I would go to passwords, so we entered it in there. So all I got to do is call, use that password, hey, it's me, unfreeze my funds. And like I said, Christmas Day, I can call Schwab, because I don't want to be on the other side of the planet, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and I can't get my money. Okay? That's the reason we picked two banks. Some people say 3 or 4. Eventually, we're going to have the third because we're going to open up a bank account in Albania once we get there. Before we go there, too, I asked Bank of America, this is about a month ago. When I go there, I'll take some euros with me. Okay? And they told me what you do is you come in and you tell them you want X amount of dollars in euros, 500, 1,000, 2,000, whatever. And it takes them a couple of days to get the euros. So the euros be delivered to the bank, then I got to go in and pick up the euros. So I'm going to bring some euros with me. In Albania, they do take the euro, but they really like their own currency. It was called a lek, L-E-K. But they do accept euros. but I'm told the exchange rate, it's better to use a local currency. Also, the people of Albania told me a lot of ATMs to get cheaper. Make sure it's an ATM that's attached to a bank, just not sitting out by itself. Not saying you're going to get robbed, but the exchange rate won't be as good. So you just got to be careful doing stuff like that. Other than that, I just want to talk about the banking. It's really critical. You know, get yourself multiple ways to get your money. Call your bank and say, look, I'm traveling overseas. Is there going to be a problem here? You know, I need to know. So we went with Bank of America, Charles Schwab. Also, I did it almost a year ago. And the reason I did it for both banks, I wanted to establish a relationship with them. And what I mean by that is April and I are showing them we have a good large amount in both accounts. When I say large for me, but we've never bounced nothing. They see a steady automatic deposit going into the accounts over a period of time. That's what I mean by establishing a relationship with them. We didn't just open an account and the next day I'm traveling to Europe, and I haven't established that footprint with those two banks. So we did that early, get that relationship going, don't bounce nothing, have a good amount in there at all times, show direct deposits hitting there at a constant basis. So that's where we're at. Dare I say it's January 2nd, 3 months now. The countdown is on, 3 months and we are over there. As I talked about earlier, we're doing it by cruise. The cruise ended up being a little cheaper than flying over there. So it's a 12-day cruise. Ship is called the Epic. We leave April 7th. It takes 12 days to get there. Our port of calls are Gibraltar. You know, I'm at the Rock of Gibraltar. But we're only there for 8 hours. Which, I wish I was there longer. And then Alicante, Spain, and then on to the port that's right next to Rome. We're staying 3 days in Rome. And then from there, what I decided, we were going to take the train to get to Bari, Italy. And it's about maybe a 6-hour train ride. And then from Bari, that's where you get the ferry to go over to Albania. It's a lot of stops, you know, so it looks like, unless we change our minds, I haven't bought the tickets yet, but it looks like we're just going to fly over from Rome. And what's good is, we talked about before, that Europeans, the nations are much closer. So from Rome to Tirana, I was seeing economy, and it's only an hour and a half flight, maybe an hour 45 minutes, and $125. I've seen some tickets as low as $76 one way. So it looks like for now, unless we change our minds, everything's fluid. I'm not locked in. No, I'm locked into cruise, locked into going to Albania. But you know what I'm saying? How we get there, you know, we're taking a cruise definitely, but everything's a little bit fluid once we hit Rome. But it looks like we're going to fly into Tirana. Okay. So I wanted to touch base with you guys. Hope you guys are happy. Hope you guys are safe. January 2nd, 2024. 3 months out, people. Okay, remember, I love you guys. Be careful. Okay, bye-bye.